And we're fortunate to have somebody here today to talk more about what's gone on last year, what's happening this year. Hamed Ghanbari, founder and CEO of Canada Energy Audit. So, Hamed, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Erin.
Now, tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself.
I had the pleasure and opportunity to work with Natural Resources Canada starting in 2010, establishing my own certified service organizations where it puts me in a position to become a certified energy advisor and in addition certified trainer on behalf of NRCan to train other energy advisors as well.
All right, very good. Now, for our listeners out there, what you do is you're helping us to be better informed, and
Absolutely.
You're there to make sure that, of course, we can save both time and money.
That is correct. More money than time.
More money than time, okay.
That's our motto. And we do that by conducting home energy evaluations.
All right. Now, before we get into that, Hamed, let's talk about Enbridge Home Rating Program. It's been in place for at least a year. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history of the program and why and how it's changed since its inception of 2012?
Absolutely, Erin. Well, the Enbridge Home Rating Program began in 2012 with an home rating course delivered to real estate agents for continuing education credits. In 2013, the next stepping stone of the program came to fruition by tapping into those real estate agents that have already taken the program and encouraging them to tap into their clientele infrastructure and work collaboratively with their real estate brokerage to promote the program. Now, the next key stepping stone that we're all very excited about, and this is the reason why we're here today, is in 2014, where Enbridge is building on that infrastructure, and now they have added incentives for qualifying home buyers. And that incentive is providing free home energy evaluation before a new buyer moves into their new home.
Which is incredible. I mean, we used to say once upon a time when we talked about home inspections, it was something people would contemplate whether or not they want to invest the money to actually do. Now, it is just the standard. It's the norm. In fact, a lot of times before even putting an offer on a property, what we'll have our clients do is ultimately, first do a pre-home inspection. So it's become a standardization in the industry. This is the same sort of thing to me that seems to be happening in terms of the energy, audit and people actually taking and being proactive to really understand what they're currently living in, especially when it comes to marketing a home potentially for sale.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Erin. And what Enbridge is trying to do profusely and as a champion, the same standards that got in place as a home inspector back in when this thing started, now they're trying to take the same formula and introduce new buyers and sellers and the real estate community to home energy evaluation service and hopefully take this to a position where it becomes a normal standard, just like the way home inspection is.
Very good. Now, Hamed, tell us a little bit more about the goals of the Enbridge Home Rating Program.
Absolutely. The fundamental goal is to promote energy ratings in the real estate transaction. So typically in a real estate transaction, you have a buyer, you have a seller, you have the real estate person that represents both parties, and you have your brokerage. So what we're trying to do is to put that incentive out there as far as the education and awareness goes and familiarize all parties with the benefits that is associated to the energy ratings that they can now have free of charge.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about those incentives, the education, of course, the information that you're trying to get out there.
You said it best, right? So the key words here are incentives and education and awareness. And if we really break this down from a buyer's perspective, we're very fortunate to have Enbridge, and they're currently offering 500 free energy audits. And that is designed and designated for qualifying home buyers. These energy audits offer home buyers the opportunity to learn more about the energy consumptions of their home and the type of improvements they need to consider. From a seller's perspective, we are dealing with qualified home sellers that they can say something a little bit more quantifiable and more concrete about their house, put them in a position where they can potentially increase the resale value of their home. If you have done an energy audit and if you're willing to speak about it in your MLS listing, Enbridge will be more than happy to provide you with a $100 gift card from Lowe's. I mean, these are the measures that Enbridge is taking to really promote this program. And of course, let's not forget about the real estate agents and their respective brokerage. That collaborations, and if they're willing to work with Enbridge, Enbridge is more than happy to go above and beyond, providing them with customized incentive packages that includes free continuing education credits for the real estate agents, advertisement, marketing expenses, and other options.
Very good. Now let's go back to the buyer for a second. How do they go about obtaining a free energy audit?
the people that can qualify for this wonderful program, they need to be buying a resale house. They need to be within Enbridge jurisdiction, and it's a pretty big jurisdiction, Aaron. And they need to be using gas as their primary fuel, so for heating needs. So if they meet those three primary criteria, it's very simple. They can ask for home energy evaluations and to be written in their purchase and sales agreement. Once all the conditions of the purchase and sales agreements are met and everything is waived, they simply need to call one of Enbridge's certified energy advisors. The energy advisor will be more than happy to book a time with the seller at their convenient time where they will be presented to conduct a home audit. The key point here that I would like to emphasize is that the purpose of the home energy evaluation is for informational purposes. It has no legal bearing. It is not a home inspection, and it will not put the respective real estate agents and the seller in a position to potentially lose this deal. So it's purely information based.
Okay, because we have a lot of real estate listeners out there, and I know that's the first thing that they're going to be wondering and saying, okay, hang on a second here. It's already, to put a deal together, there's a lot that goes on, of course, as you know. And it's one of those things that they're going to roll their eyes going, okay, hang on a second. So you're showing basically that this is an advantage when it comes to, we're talking, buying and selling homes. It's not something to be worried about.
Absolutely it is. And just to make things even a little bit more personal, my wife is a real estate agent.
Okay.
And that's the first question that she told me. Is this going to make me lose out of a deal? Absolutely not. It needs to be, the home energy evaluation needs to be on the purchase and sales agreement from an audit trail perspective. Mm-hmm. That's how Enbridge keeps track of it, and that's how Enbridge releases the fund. That's pretty much it. And this is a perfect opportunity to turn your house into your home. You have it. Why not learn a little bit more about it? We spend so much time on knowing what our body weight is, what our weight is, what is our body mass, and why not spend that time, especially when that service is offered to you for free, to get a little bit more, to get a better understanding of your home from an energy consumption perspective. It takes about an hour and a half. They're there, and they will educate you. And it's the education and awareness that you alluded to earlier. But at the same time, I'm sure everyone has a laundry list of improvements that they would like to do within the next 18 months. So let the expert tell you what those improvements are, and further let them prioritize it for you so you can identify the low-hanging fruits right from the get-go.
Great idea. And also, I think we can all agree, energy costs are not going down.
I'm afraid not.
So we need to do our part and certainly try and make sure our homes are energy efficient. So, of course, not only we can feel that better in our pocketbooks, but more importantly, we're doing our part for the environment.
Absolutely. It needs to be practical. And that's why I never like to lead with the green aspect of it, because we're living in a world where we're limited by our economics. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I say is that it's your house, turn it into your home, learn more about it, understand the improvement that gives you the biggest bang for the buck solely from an economic perspective. And yes, set the right example for your kids.
All right. Now, when I get on that scale, I know what numbers I want to see and what I certainly don't want to see. So now you're going to have to fill us in here when we're talking about a home energy audit score. Give us the goods.
High level. It ranges from 0 to 100.
Okay.
And unlike your weight, the higher it is, the better off you are.
Very good.
So just to kind of put things in perspective, it brings a certain uniformity to the service that we conduct. It allows us to compare your house that is 2,500 square feet to another house that is 5,000 square feet. That's the power within Energy rating. So when I tell you my Energy rating is X, you know exactly where you stand. And like I said before, it's from 0 to 100. Typically, if your house is 50 or below, you're dealing with a house that is old with very little upgrades implemented in it. And if your number is 75 and above, then yes, you're dealing with a home that is home energy efficient. You have done efficiency retrofits in it, and you're well on your way to enjoy your energy savings. The homes that we like to target on, they're typically in the low 50s to, let's say, high 60s, where there's still plenty of opportunities from an education and awareness perspective, and some of the energy retrofit efficiency measures that you can consider as you move in and start getting cozy.
Now, we're going to have listeners out there that said, okay, this is great. It sounds incredible. I've already bought a home. What about me? Do you have any incentives, Enbridge, that you can offer myself?
Well, I have to say those listeners, yes, we do. I mean, if you're already well on your way to plan your renovation, and if you are within the eligible areas of the Enbridge's Community Energy Conservation Program, you can receive incentives up to $2,000. Now, to determine whether you qualify for that eligibility, you can find more information on www.knowyourenergyscore.ca.
Now, before we go, Hamed, have you had any challenges in getting the word out?
With any new, innovative, emerging service, there are skeptics. And I think the challenge that we face with this particular service that Enbridge is rolling out is the education and awareness that you have to go with individuals. And the time that you have to take to ensure that you can overcome apprehensions and misunderstandings. And the biggest misunderstanding that I would say is something that I talked to you a little bit earlier about my wife, and that is from a home seller and the real estate agent perspective, the biggest misunderstanding is that they think that this service could potentially impact the sale of a house. Again, I'd like to reiterate on the fact that the free home energy evaluation service is designed solely for informative perspectives. It has no legal bearing, and everyone should take advantage of it.
All right, so it's easy to do. So everybody remember, knowyourenergyscore.ca, and that's where all the information is there. Hamed, thank you for joining us. Great job.
Thanks for having me.